All right, so I can see the chat window and the participant list. So for certain time, I will try to let you know what is this batch about, and then we will have a session where you guys can introduce yourself, and then we will flow with the class curriculum, and then at the end we will have a Q&A. So let me tell you, this is a weekdays batch. It's a weekdays batch, and it's always be 8:30 to 9:30 p.m. in India. Okay, so this particular batch is weekdays 8:30 to 9:30. That is daily 1 hour. So I'll try to stick with the time as allotted for this. Okay, so this is not my first batch of this year. This is going to be the last batch of this year, I can say, 2023. And we always have a batch of multiple batches a month, sometime weekend, weekdays, sometime early morning, late night. So the curriculum remains the same. Most of the time it remains the same, but I always try to add things on the automation side. So I'll also bring up the course curriculum that we have. So this batch consists of Python, Ansible, API, Cisco Devnet, and we have added PyATS right now on top of what we are offering. So on a quick note to show you the curriculum, you can go to this link and you can check yourself, or you can also I have put the link in the chat window as well. So here is the curriculum. So this is where we proceed with. We first start with Python theory, then we proceed to Python libraries, then we proceed to Ansible, then to the REST API, and then Cisco DevNet and project. And also, I told you we would be taking up another module this time, which is called PyATS, which is regression unit testing. So this batch is a 2 month batch, 2 to 3 month of batch. It's a weekdays batch, 8:30 to 9:30 p.m. in India. So that was about the batch, because this is something which people will start asking when we are in between of the course curriculum. So I just thought of giving you a fair enough idea on what this batch is about. Okay. So first two classes, as usual, it is open to most of the people. And after two classes, we will lock the session. So if you are a enrolled student, you get the access to the lab access, or the old recording batch, or the current batch, etc. If you're yet to enroll it, then you can get the contact number of our backend, and they will guide you with the enrollment process. So a little bit about me. I have CCNP and Devnet certification, and I be the complete trainer for this particular course. And I expertise in automation, enterprise, security, data center, and I've been involved in corporate training as well. So there is a LinkedIn profile ID in case if you want to check my profile. All right. So now, before I get started into the topic, I always keep this interactive session just to make sure where do you stand with the network automation, or where do you stand with traditional network job, or you're already into an automation job role, or this helps me to understand what exactly is your background. So I'll just unmute you guys. You guys can give me a point which you think we should automate, or you think that is being still traditional in your premise, or in your in your enterprise premise. So I will keep writing point by point. Say, let's say first point I write myself. Let's say taking a backup is a tedious job. So if I write a automation script, right? If I write a automation script to, let's say, hundreds of routers, then I can take a quick backup in 5 minutes in a text folder and I have it with me. So just want to understand this from you guys as well. So I'll unmute you guys. You can tell your name and where do you work and just one point into this. Yeah, I've unmuted.
Yeah, hi, second. Good evening.
Yeah, good evening.
Yeah, my name is Rakesh. I'm working as a senior consultant in Infosys. I joined newly Infosys. Yeah, we got one of the project. In that, we have the automation. Okay, when the previous organization, I have faced the issue when we are changing some adding some configuration or doing some configuration. Okay, we need to check the pre and post check. In that case, the automation will be very helpful. But in previous organization, we don't have the automation in the client perspective. Okay, but here we need a automation. So it is essential to learn the automation for the pre and post check when we are executing the changes.
Yeah, so are you using any automation right now or are you doing it
No,
manually?
right now it is manually, but
Okay.
the project, sorry, the client will be in transition. Okay.
Okay,
Anyway,
so
yeah.
yeah, so while we discuss in the class, I'll show you a way to take a diff report, which will check your pre and post and give you an HTML file, which should be with the color coding format. Okay, so we can write a automation script where the pre and post is collected and it automatically checks the difference line by line and give you an HTML output file and which would be a color coded format so that you can easily differentiate what got changed, what got added, what got deleted.
Okay, understood.
Okay, fine. So, uh, who is going next?
Yeah, hi Sagar. This is
Yeah, hi.
Right. So I work in I mean recently I changed my job, so I'm working currently in HCL as an protocol testing engineer. So in my current job role, they are asking me for some automation things like like earlier I have never done before. So I was in earlier I have worked in service provider network. So this is very new role for me. So and
What
yeah,
type of automation they're expecting from you, like a regular config, push, fetch, etc., or something else?
no, they are expecting actually they have had me for some DT things like based on the customer requirements. So we need to do manual testing as well as automation as both.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah. So see, I think you would be using Python then, right? Python or
yeah,
Ansible?
yeah, Python we are using. Yeah,
Okay, so when we start with Python, we will see all the theory based out on Python plus the ops concept and good number of examples considering the Cisco device and other vendors. So you should have a fair enough idea in this section,
yeah,
like taking backup, taking rejects output in an Excel to do the configuration, to run it on a multiple devices, to do a vendor-based scripting, to also run the testing or unit regression testing using PyATS. So this is when you will learn all the things that you're expected now.
yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, Sagar, one more
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
Apart from PyATS, do you want actually in our team we are using PyTest framework
Yeah.
for that already.
Yes, that is also one of them. So PyTest is also one of them.
Yeah,
Okay, I think PyTest is Python version 2.
okay.
This is Python version 3. Okay.
So because they have some in-house tool like Capital, so they are using the PyTest for running the automation script. So just
Yes, correct. Yes. So PyTest is into the protocol testing. We use PyTest. Nowadays, PyATS is a Cisco's proprietary tool, which is used by Cisco for the routing protocol testing.
Okay,
Okay.
thank you.
Okay, what else, guys? What is that thing?
Hi, Shagar. This is Shashi.
Yeah, Shashi, yes, tell me.
Yeah, Shagar. I think earlier you told that you'll be covering some new Python libraries, especially for some SD-WAN, something.
Yeah, see, for the technology like SD-WAN, we will be going with the REST API. Okay, so I will be showing you how to automate the SD-WAN controller using the REST API, using the HTTP operations.
REST API application means, are you talking about that Postman?
Yes, the Postman, correct.
Okay. Thanks.
Okay. So all
Hi,
this
Sagar.
API,
This is Arun.
SD-WAN, Meraki, they would be part of the REST API automation. Yeah, hi Arun. Yes, go ahead.
Hey, Sagar. Yeah. So I work for Samuel Merritt University. It's a medical college. I already into the automation. So as you said in the first thing, I take backups of many switches and routers, and so on using the NetMiko. So right now we are getting into the collaboration stuff, the call manager, and FortiGate firewalls. So I'm here to learn something about that, how to automate those day-to-day tasks like assigning phones, configuring those, and FortiGate firewalls, stuff like that.
Yeah, so see, if you're completely into configuration, then Ansible's Galaxy version is good. They have a good template for FortiGate. But if you also want to do the thinking from a flexibility like fetching report or show command, etc., then you can go with Python's NetMiko library, and you can use it over on FGT and the voice manager.
Okay, so this is for call managers, right?
Yeah, call manager, yes.
Okay, yeah, cool.
There are
Thank you,
certain
Sagar.
software defined kit as well,
Mhm.
SDK packages, which is again based out of Python. So there are some call manager SDK package which is Python based itself. So you can use that to write a script in case if the NetMiko is not very handful.
Got it. Okay, yeah,
Okay.
thank you.
Yeah. What else, guys? So anyone who is complete beginner?
Hello,
Hi.
good evening.
Yeah, go
Sorry,
ahead.
sorry. Yeah, continue, Yeah, good please. evening. My name is Usman, and I'm from Dubai. I'm working in one of network company in Dubai, and we have thousands of switches in our environment with different vendors. So I'm just looking for some to automate some configurations like you can say like SSH configurations, some scripting or some configuration you can say in one script. So that's all.
The vendor list is given to you, or that is a part of your execution that you determine what vendor it is and then send appropriate commands to them?
No, we know which vendor, who is the vendor. We have access for all the
Yeah,
switches, all
yeah,
the switches, routers.
yeah. So then it is very simple. If you have an Excel file, which you might have as an inventory, and you know what vendor it is, then you can pass it on to Python script, and the Python script will do the needful to the respective vendor and can yield you the desired output.
Okay, fine.
Okay, so we can apply some condition that if the device type is Cisco, then trigger this command. L if it
Mm-hmm.
is Junos, then trigger this. L if it is Palo Alto, then trigger this. So this is like a multi vendor in a single script you want to handle.
Mm-hmm. I got an idea.
Okay.
Thank you.
So we have all this script in our class actually. So at the time, I will be talking about how do you bring them in a proper life scenarios and how you kind of execute.
Sure. Thank you.
Okay. Okay. What else? So that was point 6. What else?
Hi, Sagar. Ali here. I'm the IT director at Saudi Arabia, Riyadh.
Mhm.
So, my question is very simple. For data center automation, everyone is talking about the network, switches, configurations, and these things. But my question is that same like search engines or manage engine or Spiceworks or other companies, is there any way by the scripting that we can have downtime for all the applications? I mean, all the data center, including the Aruba switches and the routers, even the firewalls which we're using in SD-WAN. Do we have any script? We can do any scripting to have a dashboard for all these things?
Yeah, we have a way to do a dashboard. Let's say if you're making use of Python, then there is something called Flask using which you can build a dashboard. Okay, and the Flask is just one of the way to bring a dashboard. So similar way, Ansible has something called Ansible Tower. So this is a dashboard. So this can proactively collect all the logs and generate you the graphical dashboard.
So you mean to say that in the in scripting, we need to add the actual configurations in order to see the dashboard, or whether the scripting can automatically fetch the information from the configuration files?
Yes, it will be doing automatically. So it will do trigger certain commands in a real time, and basis on that, it will be building the dashboard. So you there, Ali?
Yeah. It's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's good for me if I can find out how I can manage the whole data center, because it has actually subdomains and locations, a lot of switches, and we are using virtual environment most of the time. We have backup in the cloud also. So what I'm exactly trying to find out is that if I can centralize all this into a dashboard, so I don't have to go in each data center to check what is happening. Instead of that, I can see a dashboard. The reports shall be there generated daily. So my staff or my network team, they will be having any issues or anything, they will be seeing on the dashboard directly.
Yes, that's right. So using Python, you can do it, but there are certain open source tools as well, which in the backend are making use of Python modules to poll to your device and get you the front end maps or graphs on
Yeah,
what it.
that's like Manage Engine and Spiceworks and Freshworks. This is what you're talking about?
Those are commercial, right? Those are paid, right?
Yeah.
There are open source also, free also.
Okay. Spiceworks is a free and open source. Yeah. Okay. Got it. Got it. Please continue.
Okay. Okay. What next, guys?
Sagar, can you, if you know any open source for this, can you name them?
Yeah, there are certain things. There is something called Nectus, if I do remember, but they are not totally for all the.
Um, yeah, Sagar, sorry, but Nectus is not actually the open source now anymore. They are
Yeah,
providing you, yeah,
it has, I
like
think.
basic. If you use the basic, you're not getting all the configurations, because some of the vendors are like Aruba, and the other ones you are having Hyper-V and VM, the different ones. So when
Mhm.
you're doing scripting in that one, the configuration files, you need to put it in a one folder manually, and then they can generate the dashboard, or they can make a script. So what we are looking for basically is that we make our own scripting and the dashboard, but in we can use any third party open source if possible.
Yeah, there are paid version, couple of them. There is one more called Swimlane. but you won't get a free version totally for all the different vendors that is available. Okay, because it's a complete project. It's a complete commercial project.
Got it. Thank you, guys.
Okay, so what else, guys, that we kind of do automation, or what else do we use it for? So we have some pointers now: backup, diff, uh, taking the protocol testing, the SD-WAN automation, configuration. Let's say if you have a multi-vendor list, making use of Python condition and executing it over to a multiple device, or to have a dashboard with a complete downtime or uptime of a device so that you don't have to go to a device. So what else do you think? So let's say if you're making use of any certificate upload.
Yes, Aga. Manish this side.
Yeah, Manish, go ahead.
So I'm working with Eurofin. So I'm handling some enterprise network like Google and some many more. So right now I'm working for Palo Alto and FortiGate. So I'm looking for some like security rules, how to automate those tasks, and some inventory list, because if we have a large enterprise or with number of multiple enterprises, like thousands of enterprises are there. So in a data center, we need to maintain some inventory checklist. So that also, if it can be fetched, and it can be automate, like how many devices are on, how many are down. So to like that. And if we have a down device, so can we have the notification by email as well? So I'm looking for that. So Saga, can you just enlighten us?
Yeah, that's right. So see, pushing of rules, etc., you can do it either via Ansible or Python or API. This is the most preferred option. Regards to inventory management, you have the IPAM or Netbox. So using API, you can call it or update those applications. And regards to the uptime and downtime, which you asked, as we discussed in the previous. Sorry, I'm still not sure about that. Okay, one second. Okay, regards to the uptime or the dashboard, as we discussed, there are certain tools which you can use to build them, but again, they may not be complete open source. They could be a commercial license as well. Okay, so yes, automation is used for security configuration, security policy configurations as well, and the management of firewalls as well. So if you're making use of Panorama or the 40 manager, right, or the Cisco's FMC, so you get the respective APIs to handle that.
Sorry for interruption, Sagar. About the Fortinet EDR. You know, from Fortinet EDR, if you connect it with the Fortinet firewalls, the whole package, and you have a controller for that one, the data center, when we are making the automation, is it possible that we can segregate the whole product of EDR and Fortinet into one script? And when we are showing it on the dashboard, it can be showing only the Fortinet as a tree, main tree. Is it possible through the automation? I mean, from the scripting?
It depends if the NetMiko has a device type for the EDR product. For 40 manager and 40 gate appliance, there are. But for EDR product, I'm not sure if the NetMiko has a device type for that. So
No,
it
no,
depends.
no.
Yeah.
EDR is not a
Yes, Saga.
device. EDR is a package, you know, from the 40 net itself.
Mhm.
It's an endpoint security.
Mhm. So that is what. See, Python has a segregation for 40 manager and 40 gate appliance.
Okay.
Okay, and due to that, it will be able to push it to on them. NetMiko basically supports multiple firewall appliances like Palo Alto, FortiGate, and Firepower, Sophos.
Right, Saga.
Yeah. So anyone know about the regex? Does anyone heard about regular expression?
Yes, sir. We just want to grab the particular lines or particular content from the entire script. We have to use the regular expression to match the pattern.
Yeah, that's right. So in what scenario we want to match the pattern? Say, for example, someone asks you to get the output of uptime, but uh, instead of a specific output, they do not want the complete line to be printed. They want the exact output of let's say if it is 3 hour, 20 minute, whatsoever it is, or 1 second, whatever it is, the exact output. And if you are being asked to put them in an Excel sheet, right? So a regular expression is when you build a pattern which is compiled, or which is been checked upon on a respective data, and you get that output and store it somewhere. So that's regular expression. What else do you think we might be using automation for? Is there anything which we might not have mentioned?
We can mention schedule backups to be fetched or to be upload if it is not mentioned on a schedule on a given respective
Yeah,
time.
that we can mention here itself, schedule backup without human intervention, which will happen automatically. What else? Have you guys heard about compliance? Say, for example, I have a few devices, might be under an access list. I have 8 rules, and on the same ACL, I have 5 rules, and might be here I have 14 rules. Okay, so basically, the compliance says that they are not properly compliance. Might be they are 55% as per the expectation. The actual ACL was let's say 10 lines. So I have 8 here, 5 here, 14 here. So might be something I'm missing, something I have to add, something I have to delete, right? So we can make a compliance check script which will check if all these 10 lines are present. It can give us in a plus and minus symbol if something to be added, something to be deleted, something to be added, deleted. And at the end of the config push, we expect they are all 10 lines in those ACLs. So this is one sort of compliance that we do. So the expectation is we have 95 to 100% standardized as per the management task. So that's the bad configs can sometimes lead to the outage. So we try to make a compliance check. What else which you think we kind of use? So the regular upgrades, let's say upgradation. So all the steps that you do, like taking a pre-check, copy of the file, uh, copy of the file to the disk, change the bootware, right? Do the MD5 check, save this, then you reload, then you do the post check, generate the diff check. So this whole sequence of the upgradation can also be converted into a automation script, so that one single script can handle all your upgradation related concerns. Okay. What else? What else do we see in the enterprise or data center or security side? Upload of policies, configuration of NAT rules, configuration of VPNs, fetch of a report. This is all part of automation. We can use automation to do this on a firewalls as well, like FortiGate or Palo Alto or Cisco FTD, right? So which I can put under configuration of devices.
So Saga,
Yeah.
Manish this side.
Yeah.
I'm having some different question.
Mhm.
Like suppose we have a one device. It may be anything like Cisco or Palo Alto. It must have the CPU. So if CPU have the size. Now, if it is an enterprise or if it is a data center, the CPU size may be different. The thing comes when we create a script and we integrate the device with that script, and in a one device we able to fetch the like the number of items. So the CPU or the RAM will take the load and it get increased. So it can be monitored in a real time, like what this is present going on, and this is finally it is like to maintain the healthy backup or to maintain the healthy CPU size. I mean to make it visualize somehow with the script, because when we do a multiple number of tasks for the device, uh, sometimes it may get hang or it may get lost. So what about this scenario?
You want to collect the real time logs, is it?
Yeah.
Okay. See, what happens is when you push any device over on to the any script to the device over on SSH or HTTP, there will be a spike, a sudden spike of utilization. So in that spike, you can collect multiple factors like what is the current bandwidth, what is the memory. You can take it in an Excel sheet also, and you can schedule this every 5 minutes or 15 minutes or 20 minutes also.
Okay. Quite well.
Or if you have some SNMP tool manager like SolarWind or something, you can schedule a SNMP based polling, and which can also give you the bandwidth utilization going across in the backend.
Okay, so it can be like suppose I'm using some XYZ SNMP tool, and we have a Polar agent is also there. So if that can be also integrate with the Python.
Yes, correct. It can
Okay.
be. It can
Okay.
be.
That's good. That's fine. My
Okay.
question is answered. Thank you.
Okay, so that was real time logs. What else?
Hello, Sagar.
Yeah, hello. Yes, go ahead.
Yeah, myself Sagar here from Bangalore, working for a Tier 3 data center. In my scenario, I have a Radware load balances where we'll be configuring a virtual IP between two virtual machines, where the load will be carried out equally. In this case, where somewhere if the link is down on one particular end, like is there any can I know like how the Python helps me in this case?
Radware, and what happens in the case of downtime?
Yeah, the server load balances, how to
Okay.
manage between them. Basically, the virtual IPs I'm talking about.
Virtual IP, what exactly you want to see? That is kept in the load balancer, right? In
Yes.
which part you want to bring the automation?
For example, there are two virtual machines running on the load balancer. Okay.
Okay.
For example, one of the server or for this, because of a high CPU utilization, one of the servers goes down. Like, can we monitor? Can we get the load balances uptime report, something like that?
Yeah, reports, yes, you can do that. So as I was telling in the real-time logs, you can run a script in this real-time log so that you can fetch the, utilization happening across. Usually the load balancer itself will trigger and send you the notification that this is the utilization going on. Otherwise, with the Python script also, we can see the utilization happening on the servers.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
All right, so that was a good number of points that we collected. Now, what we will do is we will check some script. Let me show you in a lab environment. So let's say this is a emulator based lab where we have kept some devices like, let's say, the Palo or ASA, Arista, Junos, the router switches. So for now, I just kept powered on few routers with me. So just want to show you the to someone who is just starting, like starting with the automation. So see, the on the test environment on the case of the lab, we need some devices and we need some tools where we can start writing our script. Okay, so these tools are called ID, integrated development environment. So here is where we will write our script and we will mention our device IP or the credentials and we trigger them. So this overall SSH protocol will hit on these devices and talk to them. Okay. So the automation is plain simple. We will have, let's say we have our source machine. I have installed the tools like PyCharm library and the required libraries here. And on the other side, I have a Cisco device, right? So as any remote user, I can take the SSH connection to this over on TCP/22. So once I have that connection established, then I can run any command like show IP int brief, and then I'll fetch the output of that and will be visible on my user screen. So this is the approach for any automation. In the test environment, I'm making use of a EVNG software and I have deployed all PyCharm, Python and library on my user machine. So when we start with the actual class, then I'll proceed with the getting started tools as well. So what tools do we need to get started? So we need an IDE, okay, integrated development environment. This is where you can build or you can write your script. So let's say one of them is PyCharm. You can go with Microsoft Visual Studio. There are hundreds of other good options available. You need the programming language. We'll go with Python. We need a library which can which can help us to take a telnet or SSH or HTTP or SNMP. So there are different libraries that can handle it. So we know that SSH is an encrypted one, and some examples are NetMiko, NEPAM, PyNTC, Nornia. These are some examples. So let's say I first will prefer going with NetMiko. So these are some to get started kind of things that I need: an IDE, Python as a programming language, library, and finally, how do I test it? I will test it over on a emulator. So I can make use of a GNS3 or something like EVNG, or if you have CML2, you can use CML2 as well. Okay, so four items that we need. If you see here, I have PyCharm installed, IDE. It's been integrated to Python, and I have certain libraries with me which I'm been using. So you can see that there are few libraries with me. And
So excuse me.
yeah, go ahead.
So is the Python installation, is that on a machine that a virtual machine that sits inside of EVNG, or is this something that is going to interface with EVNG?
Basically, it will be outside of EVNG. Okay, say for example, as I put up here, let's say this is EVNG for me right now, and all the rest of the things will be here. Python, PyCharm, and libraries will be here in the source machine. EVNG considered as, let's say, destination. So nothing to be installed inside EVNG. It will be outside of EVNG. So does that help?
Yeah, I'm just trying to understand the networking of it. So you'll basically have a cloud connectivity, or not a, you'll have connectivity from your PC to the EVNG IP address that'll help you poll these devices that you have sitting within
Yeah,
EVNG.
that's right. They are all in a LAN subnet of this series. So the DHCP server that I have, they are both connected to the same DHCP server. So basically, they are in a LAN network.
Gotcha.
Okay. So that is how I have built it. If you see here in the EVNG, I'm making use of a cloud adapter, and that cloud is nothing but the DHCP server, which is also getting an IP to the PyCharm tool. So basically, these are all in the same network now. So how do I check if I have reachability to this device? I can do a ping test. Let's say show IP int brief. I have 2413. So when I'm inside the tool, so let's say ping 172.16.24.13. So you can see that they have a reachability. Okay. So yes, so what are the tools that I need? ID, Python, libraries, and an emulator. We keep them in the same LAN so that the SSH and all the basic communication happens between them. Okay, so let me go back. So I have two devices. One of them is 13, and the next one should be dot 14. I have dot 13 and dot 14. I go to PyCharm. This is a well set up now. But when we have the log session started, I will go with the Scratch installation. I'll start with the Scratch installation, or let me show you right now. So let's say when I go to a new project, so let's say I call it as November 2023, and click on create new window. So this is how a brand new instance would look like. Okay, and the brand new instance do not have any pre-installed libraries either. If you go to Python interpreter, you can see the list is complete dead. So we have to install package by package. So when I want to install the package called Netmiko, I'll click on Netmiko. I'll click on install package, and that is how the installation of Netmiko begins. Okay, so this would be our day one where we will set up the environment. So today is just a demo class, so I'm just taking it on a ready-made instance which is already been tested or been showcased in other class. So you can see that Netmiko package got downloaded, and along with it, the other dependency modules also got uh, installed or downloaded. So these libraries that was just seen to be installed, they go and sit here in the local drive. If you open up external libraries site package, you can see that it has been installed or downloaded in your local drive now. Okay, so we will talk about this. This is just an overview today. Let me show you some quick automation. So let's say I have a script with a couple of devices. Let's say I keep it 13 and 14. those two devices with me. So this is an example where I have more than, let's say, two devices. And the purpose is that if I see a Cisco device, then I must trigger this command. If I see them to be PAN overs, Palo Alto, then it should trigger this. And if I see another vendor like Cisco ASA, then it might trigger another set of command. Okay. So this is when the conditions are introduced in a Python programming. And how do we run? We right click. There is an option called run and we click on it. You can see that it has all the input, so it is not going to ask me for anything. Instead, it's going to run its own and give me the output fetched. And one more thing about the script is we don't even define whether this IP is Cisco or this is PAN OS or this is F5 or this is something. We went with the concept called auto detect. So in the case of auto detect, it will check in a real time. If this is a Cisco, then it will take it into this block. If it comes to a conclusion that this is a F5 load balancer, then it would have taken you to the another block which is prepared for F5. So that is what I have done it using a SSH auto detect. It will first do the SSH to this, get the equivalent command of show version on a respective vendor, get it converted into what the NetMikos connect handler accept, like if it is a Cisco iOS or a PAN OS or F5, and then it will put it on a respective conditions. Okay. So if I rerun one more time, it is giving you a short code of it that it says Cisco iOS. So it's actually doing a auto detect. See, it said it's a Cisco, then it triggered that block for Cisco's command. Now it's interacting with second device. It says that it's again a Cisco device and it will take you to this. So this is a script. Let's say when you have thousands of device, they haven't given you the device type, and the ask is you run the respective commands on a all 1,000 device and you collect the logs or collect the show backup, right? So you cannot go manually check each device to understand if it is a PAN OS or this is a Cisco or this is a Juniper, right? It should be a real-time approach. So there is where we added auto detect and it will do the connection check. It will see the device type and accordingly you can also insert any other XY command into this. Let's say you wanted to copy some file, so you can go with the file transfer command, right? So you can go with file transfer. You can say that you want to copy, let's say 3580.bin file. Let's say for PAN-OS, you have some other copy instances. For ASA, you want to do certain other things. So one single script to handle all thousands of devices, irrespective of what vendors they belongs to. So this is what something it was. So any question with this? Any question with this?
So I imagine you can import a device list into this script.
Yes, we can import the device list also. Instead of writing it manually, we can keep it somewhere in a notepad and make use of Python's output method to read it from there. So we can have all thousands device kept in a file or somewhere, and then in a dynamic fashion we can take it.
Got you.
Okay. So as well with the credentials, if you don't want to keep it here, we have a get pass method. We can have a input method. We can also take them out and keep it in a notepad as well, so that they are not revealed in the script. All right. Okay, so I'll move to the second device, second script. So this script is where we are making a regex pattern, and this pattern would be checked against the command called show version, and it will give me that exact data that I'm expecting, which I want to put in a let's say, let me see. Okay, I have a diff report which I was talking about. Okay, 1 second. Let me. Okay, regex report. Yeah, something like this. This is called a regex report. Someone ask you, management ask you, give me a report, which is for, let's say, host name, IP, uptime, serial, processor ID, image path, and the reload reason, right? At the same time, they don't want you to also write the entire statement that the R01. See, usually what you receive when you put let's say when you want to check the version, you go and do show version. It's a huge list of output, but still, if you kind of go with the pipe include, go with uptime, you still receive this statement. But if I tell you, if the requirement is only to fetch this but not that entire line, right? So this is where the regular expression helps you. You will give the respective pattern and run it against the show version, and the output that is fetched will be stored in an CSV file or Excel file, which is ready to be sent to your management. So right now, this is a script which is having a pattern. The pattern will be checked over on the show version command. This is a real-time execution. So first, it will do the SSH to that particular device and then fetches the detail. Okay. So if I run this, let's say right click, run, we should have the output here. See, this is what it says: system file path. Now, this is a complete pattern that I have received it. Okay, this is when you are asking it to match with your pattern and you don't want any other lines out of it. Okay, so this is it. This is where we have introduced the ops model. This is a function. Again, don't worry if you're not from a Python basic, or if you do not know basic of Python. So we will talk about how do we write such functions and how do you initiate or call those functions. Okay, this will help you to reuse of a code inside your script. Again, it's a basic script to interact with just single device, and you have your username, password. You have a pattern, and you want to check it against this. This will help you when you are creating reports like this. Sometimes someone can ask you to give the percentage of utilization, bandwidth utilization. The expectation is that your report is fetching up the utilization going across in this kind of pattern. Okay, so the things that you want to take it can be done via regex, and it will give you the output, and then you can print it over on an Excel sheet. So the codes will be written here to write over on the Excel. Okay, so this was demonstration of second script. Interact with some device, fetch the needful, and then we can put it on an Excel or a text file, taking a backup. So that is what we use this automation for. Okay. Okay. Before going to the next example, do you guys know whether Python is a front-end programming tool or a back-end programming tool? So what do you understand by front-end or back-end?
I guess it would be a back
Front end
end.
means the server access and back end means something client side access. Am I right?
No. In simple context, backend and front end.
It's both back end and front end.
In Python is a backend or a front end?
It can be both of back end or front end.
See, it is a backend programming tool. Backend programming tool in the sense whatever script that you're writing, okay, it's written manually. It do not have a dashboard inbuilt. So if I want to add a front-end feature in the sense, if my management say we don't have a very if my management say if we do not have a skilled engineers, we don't want the script to be manipulated or modified. Can you build a front end for us so that the engineers can just do whatsoever from the front end itself, right? So Python do not has inbuilt, but we can include some programming tools like Flask, okay, which can help us to bring the front end. So let's say if this is a front end dashboard where you have a navigational drop down menus, selecting of the device, etc., and in the backend there will be the Python script. Okay, so let's say the user will do the needful selection and he will hit on the submit button, and in the backend the Python script will be making the regular SSH connection to the devices, get back the data, and result it in the front end operation. So we've been making use of this in a multiple scenario. But sometimes what
Okay.
happens, we don't have a front end applications. Yeah, Richard, go ahead.
So you asked the question, what is the back end, what is the front end, right? So I guess what you're saying is the front end is the application where it's the user interface.
Correct.
And then the back end is where your database, all your, all the magic happens.
Yeah. So Python comes in a backend programming tool. Okay, and for an application view, we will make use of a dependency like Flask. Flask is a programming language, or if you are aware of HTML uh, or React, these are all a front end programming languages. Okay, so with collaboration of two, we can create a front end graphical dashboard. Plus, in the backend, there will be the Python script which will do the needful thing. I'll give you one example. Say, for example, so far I showed you writing it over on the script. But what if my management say that we don't have good technical people who can make some changes, or we don't want them to be given with the script? Can you create a front end dashboard or a front end user based application? So for that, I have made use of one module called Thinkter. So with Thinkter, associated or collab with NetMiko, Python NetMiko, and this would result you something like, let me run this. So when you run this, see, you get a dashboard. So you don't do anything on that Python script. The user will get the dashboard. He can select it from the list. He can click on connect, and the dashboard will give him the needful output. Say, for example, let's say if I say R01, what is the output? Let's say I want the output for show IP int brief, and then I click on connect, and it will give me the output. And if I want to save that, that will be saved in the some corner of my G drive. Or I have another device. Let's say I'm troubleshooting. I do not know which script, etc. This is a tool built. Let's say I want to check show IP protocol and click on connect. See, okay. So whenever there is a needful thing, it will. Let's say if I take the show clock, they have this. Sometimes the people are so beginner, they may not even remember the command. You can also have the options like this. Like if they are making a very basic check and they want some things handy, they can take this, they can take the output of that command, and if they are supposed to email that to someone. So this is what is a front end. This front end was created using a library called uh, Thinkter, okay, which is an add-on which we added with collab with a Netmiko Connect handler. So what happens is in the front end, you have a front end application, which is a graphical based. In the backend, you have a Python script. So the Python script is making the actual connection to the device and fetching you the detail. It's all up to like how you define these columns. In the script, I have defined multiple columns, window size. See, this is where I have defined it. I've said that I want the application to have a device IP, a username, passwords. You can see the correlation between this option with this line 91, 92, 93 till 97. Device IP address, username, password, select device, CLI command, CLI command to select CLI command. So these are all the options which we have kept here. We have also giving the drop down options. So in case if some people do not recall the show command, then we can give them some most frequently used one, right? And when someone click on that connect button, it goes to the device, does the SSH to it, gives back me the output. And if someone wants to save it, when they click on save output, so we have that options here. So those things got actually captured here. See, output 1 and output 3. So if you click on output 1, this was what we captured, and output 3 was that show IP protocol, right? The problem with this type of front end, they are not very scalable. They're not very responsive. If you know the meaning responsive, uh, responsive in the sense, are they compatible with mobile or a different resolution of display? See, they're not very much helpful because they don't kind of very responsive, but still okay for our network operation. So this is where I have another example, and that example would be with the help of Flask. And in this example, the output fetched is not in this kind of application, but it will be on a professional browser. And you know that if it's a professional browser, then they are more responsive. You can use it with a mobile resolution or any Windows 10, Windows 8, Linux. They don't get distorted, right? So this next option that I'll show here with the Flask, it's a complete different programming language. We have downloaded it. We have called it Flask inside the Python script. Again, the backend will be over on the Netmiko Connect handler, but the front end will be over on the Flask graphical method. So how do I run this? Once again, right click, run the script. It will initiate that local host. Click on the link. This is how the dashboard look like. Now this is like more responsive. If you see, you can see that they don't lose its property. Now let's say you wanted to trigger some command, let's say show IP in brief, execute. The front end will make the call to the backend script. The Python Netmikos will trigger it over on a respective device. I've stored the IP address. If you see here, we have a line number 37 where I say that the devices are kept in the this. See, so if I have any number of device, I can store it here. This is like my inventory, and in that inventory, let's say I'm selecting R01 or R02, right? And if I give some command output, let's say show IP in brief, execute, and it will fetch me. Now, if you want to take the output of what you see, you can click on download. You get that output generated. So this is your notepad now. See, this is your notepad. Now let's say if you wanted to take show version, execute. Now this is show version. You want to attach it to your mail. See, this is where you have it. Okay. So what did we see right now? We saw the front end application. Why it is important? Because backend is for someone who is aware of what Python is, how to write the script or making changes to the script, but not needed that every let's say NOC engineer or the L1 engineer would be having a access to the backend. The management might ask you to create a front end for them. So front end will be the application view or the dashboard or the front end, you can say. It will make a appropriate call to the backend. The backend script will run. It will interact with the device, fetch you the output, and that will be showcased on your front end too. So, did you get fair enough ideas on the test examples? What is automation? What would we be triggering? How do we save this? How do we run? How do we mention the device detail? Right. So see, I'll once again show you the curriculum. The examples that I showed you today, they come when we have reached like module 10, 11, etc. Okay. We will start with module 1. Module 1 is when we install all the needful tools in our machine. Then we go with the Python programming language, what is string, what is operator, what is a variable, what is comment. Then we'll see the data types. We will see the exceptional handling, package and functions, file handling, date type, regular expression. Then we will start with the practical. So practical, when we start with the first few basic NetMiko script, it will be just to like fetch, how to add multiple device, how to introduce for loop. It will be basic first initially. Then we will get into some advanced topics like we saw now, like SSH auto detect, regex in a real script, front end building, reading from Excel, writing back to an Excel sheet, making use of conditional statements, right? So they comes as we spend some time here in the day-wise session. We have NEPAM, PyNTC, Paramiko, Scapy, subprocess, and Nornier, which is under Python library. Once the Python section is completed, which should be like 20 to 30 classes, because this is daily 1 hour classes. So it will take me at least 30 classes to complete the complete Python modules, Python theory and library, which you consider as a 1 month of course is done for just Python alone. Then we start with Ansible. When we go with Ansible, again, this is advanced Ansible. So we will first start with installation, deployment of Ansible package. We will start with the Ansible Galaxy modules, writing of playbooks, writing of Jinja templating, writing of conditions, loops, writing of handlers in Ansible, Ansible Tower, okay, Ansible ad hocs, different concepts of Ansible. Then we will proceed with APIs. Under the APIs, we will talk about REST API, XML API, RESTconf, NetConf protocols. So using Postman, that would be using Postman and then converting a Postman calls to Python script and once again run the uh, automation over on API. So how are API different than these topic? So this were carried upon SSH protocol, right? Whereas API will be carried upon over on HTTP protocol. So you know that HTTP is a web GUI protocol, right? So we will be making of the automation using HTTP protocol now, not the SSH. This would be purely SSH. And when we move toward REST API, it will be over on the HTTP protocol.
Sagar,
Yeah.
sorry to interrupt.
Yeah, go ahead.
We shall cover something about GUI automation in this REST API only, am I right?
Which automation come again?
No, GUI automation, graphical user interface automation.
REST APIs are graphical based only.
Okay, so here only we are covering about something Python libraries for that GUI automation.
Yes, that is for Python. For Python, we will talk about the graphical.
Oh, these are all covered about the graphical user interface.
Yes, here in the NetMiko package, I'll show you how to. Okay, and when you come to the API, they are front-end based itself. Okay, so you need not to worry. When you have a Postman, it's very easy. If you know the basic HTTP header operations and the status code, very easy to automate the end devices like SD-WAN controllers or Palo Alto dashboards via HTTP protocol. Then we'll go with the PyAT, which is not mentioned here, but as I told you, I will cover it up. PyAT is again a module or another library which we be using for regular regex, regular unit testing. So we will be making use of some Ubuntu machine and we will deploy PyATS to that and we will start working on PyATS. Then we'll go with Cisco Devnet 200901, which is the associate level, all the blueprint from it. And the project that is here that will be spread across from all the modules. So let's say when we complete something from this, I'll give you one topic, one project. Let's say project number one, and it will be something related to, let's say, this topic, and the intention of that is so that you can start thinking and start writing something of your own, because we would be seeing examples while I write in the live class, but to motivate you to start writing something, I'll give you the project. So this project is spread across from day one till the last day of the batch, and once you do work on them, you will upload it in our backend portal. And if there is any question or if you are stuck anywhere, then I'll check that. I will evaluate your work and I'll let you know if something has to be added or deleted or if things are good. Okay. So this is a project which is prepared or made by you yourself with the help of what we discussed in the class. So did you get the flow of this 2 to 3 month of course? Any question with this? So you got any question with the flow of this 2 to 3 month of course?
As of now, no, Ji.
Okay. Okay. All right. So we have 5 to 10 minutes in case if someone wants to have a Q&A, please let me know. Let me tell you, today was let's say class one, and we discussed about some demo examples and we discussed about why automation. So let's say in the next class, we can talk about basic Python theory. Okay. And
how much time will it take to complete the courses?
it will be 2 to 3 months.
Okay, step by step will we go step by step will everything is will complete, na?
Correct. Yes.
Okay, and how much fees?
For fees and other inquiry, there is a backend team. They have dropped a message. You please reach out to them. Okay.
Oh, where will drop the message?
Can you see the Zoom chat? There is a contact number given.
Yeah, I see the contact number. I will put the
Yeah.
chatting.
Sure. Okay. So class one was today demo and why automation. Tomorrow we will discuss about Python theory, and for next 3 to 7 days we would be spending time to understand theory and the exercises. If you are well versed with the theory and exercise, then it will be a recap for you guys, and then we will start with Python. Python practicals. The first module that I will consider is NetMiko. So with NetMiko, we'll talk about all the real case approaches. Let's say capturing backup, scheduling backup, configuration, all the case studies that is even mentioned in this page. So that is the pattern of the flow. And as I complete something, I'll be giving a project for you guys to also complete and submit it. All right, guys. So, any further question? We have 5 minutes. You can let me know.
Yeah, a couple questions. One, can you drop the link for the URL that you are scrolling through
Yeah, sure.
in the chat?
Yeah, sure.
The other thing is the lab.
Yeah,
I understand that we can
yeah, sure.
we can install Python on our individual PCs, but accessing all those different
Okay.
devices.
Yes. Coming to that. So, regarding to the lab access, we give two types. One is remote lab. That means the lab resources is hosted on our side. You get some URL IP with your credential and password. You can use any browser to access it and use it upon. This is a 6-month validity with the package. Or you can go with your own home lab setup. Minimum is that you have 16 plus GB of RAM and at least a 4 CPU. And we will give you a ready-made file with all the required iOS images, the lab topology, and we will help you to set up that with the PyCharm and the required tools with this. So this will be hosted in your own personal laptop. So this is a lifetime access. So we in the backend will take a screen sharing and we will deploy this in your machine. So these are two ways to give the access.
Okay, the other thing is
8 GB RAM will work and laptop supported anyone having the 8 GB RAM?
8 GB RAM might be one or two routers you can load, not more than that.
Okay.
Okay, so any further question? Any further question? Anything else?
I think you mentioned so the you're going to teach an hour a day, Monday through Friday.
Yeah, it will be Monday to Thursday. Monday to Thursday, 1 hour daily.
So 4 days.
Yes, 4 days a week.
Okay.
So, Sagar, this is Manish. So,
Yeah.
can't it be from, it can, the time is fixed from 8:30 or it can be 9 to 10?
See, actually, right now I already have a batch 9:30 to 10:30. I think another 1 week is pending for them. So once this gets sorted, if you want, then I can shift it to 9 to 10. So first initial few classes might be at 8:30 to 9:30. At least a week of class, we will take it at this time, and then we can shift it to 9 to 10 once I'm done with that batch.
Actually, the thing is like my office timing is getting clashed only for 30 or 40 minutes only. So I'm looking and I'm eager to join. But as I discussed already with you, so this is only the clash happens. 30 and 35 minutes, the close up time is the crucial time. So, and it is getting clashed. Unless so far so good, you are good with explanation and we are getting the things.
Yeah, actually,
And
I
you're
have one batch. I think 1 week is left for them. So we can do something with the time shift. Okay, we can make it 9 to 10.
and you're recording these,
Yeah,
right? Are they
the
available for download, the recordings?
not for download, not for download. The daily recording will be placed in our Learn portal, and that will be lifetime accessible to you. There is no download option in those portals.
Okay, but there's lifetime access.
Yes, it's a lifetime.
Okay.
Yeah, Sagar. Thank you so much.
Yes, thank you. So I'm done from my side as well, and in the next class we will proceed with the topic. Okay. Yeah. Have
It
a
will be
nice day.
tomorrow.
Yes, tomorrow 8:30.
So,
Yeah, thanks, bro.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.